Ladies and gentlemen, let us begin by considering a single profound question: where would humanity be without imagination? This is not a question of idle curiosity, but of foundational importance. Imagination, simply put, is the engine that propels human progress. It is the gift that allows us to see not merely what is, but what could be. Imagination is the extraordinary ability to create mental images, ideas, or concepts that transcend the immediate reality in front of us. It is not merely a whimsical escape from the mundane, but a fundamental cornerstone of human experience. Imagination has always been the driver of innovation and progress, enabling humanity to envision possibilities beyond the constraints of the here and now. It is through imagination that we have shaped our societies, explored our universe, and made sense of our existence. At its core, imagination is an act of transcendence. It allows the mind to leap beyond what is readily apparent, constructing scenarios that do not yet exist and exploring realms that may never materialize. This faculty is not just for artists or dreamers, but is a universal human trait deeply embedded in our cognitive makeup. When we imagine, we blend what we know with what we could know, creating a bridge between the familiar and the unknown. This ability has enabled humans to anticipate the future, rehearse solutions to problems, and visualize paths forward in ways that no other species can. Throughout history, imagination has been the invisible hand guiding every great leap in human achievement. It was imagination that led early humans to see a sharp stone not as a rock, but as a tool to hunt or carve. It was imagination that allowed ancient mariners to navigate the open seas by following the stars. These acts of creativity were not born out of mere observation. They required the ability to mentally reconfigure elements of the environment into something entirely new, something that defied the immediate and tangible. The imaginative mind possesses a remarkable flexibility, capable of connecting disparate ideas and forming novel concepts. This process often involves visualizing possibilities that may seem implausible or impossible to others. It is why imagination is so often the precursor to invention. The airplane, the smartphone, the internet, none of these emerge purely from a rigid adherence to facts or established knowledge. Rather, they were born from the minds of individuals who dared to see beyond what was and imagine what could be. Imagination is not confined to material progress or technological advancements. It is equally essential to the way we construct meaning in our lives. For instance, storytelling, one of the oldest human traditions, is fundamentally an imaginative act. Myths, legends, and narratives have always served as vessels through which people make sense of their place in the world. These stories might not always reflect literal truths, but they communicate values, hopes, fears, and aspirations. They are products of the imagination, yet their influence on human behavior and society is profound. In addition to creating external artifacts and ideas, imagination also plays a crucial role in shaping our internal worlds. It is through imagination that individuals envision better versions of themselves, conjure up future goals, and rehearse strategies for achieving them. This ability to project oneself into hypothetical scenarios is a cornerstone of personal growth. Without the capacity to imagine oneself overcoming challenges, rising above limitations, or achieving success, the motivation to strive and persist would diminish. Moreover, imagination is inextricably linked to empathy. To understand someone else's perspective, to truly grasp their joys, sorrows, or struggles requires the ability to imagine what it is like to be them. This act of putting oneself in another's shoes is not an analytical process, it is a creative one. Empathy, in turn, fosters connection, cooperation, and the building of communities. Therefore, imagination is not just a tool for individual innovation, but also a social glue that binds people together. Imagination is at its most powerful when it dances on the edge of uncertainty. When the path forward is unclear, when challenges appear insurmountable, it is imagination that offers glimpses of potential solutions. In this sense, imagination serves as a form of hope and assurance that new paths can always be discovered, that progress is always within reach. While logic and reason ground us, imagination lifts us. It assures us that no matter how limited our present circumstances may seem, there is always room for growth, change, and reinvention. Far from being a mere escape from reality, imagination enhances our engagement with it. By envisioning better possibilities, it motivates action and fuels the human spirit to pursue the extraordinary. Whether we are artists creating masterpieces, scientists devising groundbreaking theories, or ordinary individuals envisioning better lives for ourselves and our families, it is imagination that breathes life into our efforts. Imagination and knowledge, while closely intertwined, occupy fundamentally different roles in the human experience. Knowledge is the accumulation of facts, truths, and understanding that we derive from observation, study, and experience. It is structured, well-defined, and tethered to reality as it exists. Knowledge provides a foundation, offering stability and reliability in our thinking. Imagination, on the other hand, is boundless. It is the capacity to visualize that which does not yet exist, to conceptualize ideas beyond the confines of what is currently understood. And while knowledge is essential, it is often imagination that surpasses it, serving as the genesis of creativity, progress, and the discovery of entirely new paradigms. One of the core distinctions between imagination and knowledge lies in their respective limitations. Knowledge is finite. It is a representation of what we have learned so far. As vast and impressive as our collective knowledge may be, it remains confined to what has already been observed, tested, and recorded. Imagination, in contrast, has no such boundaries. It can venture into uncharted territories, hypothesize beyond current understanding, and conjure possibilities that defy existing norms. In this sense, imagination extends the boundaries of knowledge, acting as a precursor to learning and discovery. Consider, for example, the realm of scientific advancement. Every revolutionary theory or invention began not with the accumulation of knowledge, but with the spark of imagination. Before we could harness electricity, fly planes, or explore space, someone had to envision these possibilities. Albert Einstein famously stated, "Imagination is more important than knowledge, for knowledge is limited, whereas imagination embraces the entire world, stimulating progress and giving birth to evolution." This quote underscores the point that knowledge is retrospective. It explains what we already know, but imagination is perspective, projecting forward into what could be. Imagination thrives where knowledge cannot yet tread in the unexplored, the unknown, and the seemingly impossible. For instance, centuries ago, the idea of human flight was considered sheer fantasy. Knowledge, at the time, was rooted in the observable laws of nature that seemingly forbade such a feat. Yet, it was the imaginative minds of inventors like Leonardo da Vinci and the Wright brothers that defied convention and visualized new ways to engage with the physical world. Their imaginative efforts expanded humanity's knowledge, reshaping what was once thought impossible into a shared reality. Another essential distinction is that imagination fuels flexibility and adaptability. Knowledge, being rooted in established truths, can sometimes act as a constraint, limiting thinking to pre-existing frameworks. Imagination, however, refuses to be confined. It allows individuals to envision alternative perspectives and novel approaches, even when those ideas may initially seem absurd or counterintuitive. This dynamic interplay is especially evident in problem solving. When faced with unprecedented challenges, relying solely on knowledge may not suffice as it pertains to past experiences. Imagination, on the other hand, enables the creation of entirely new solutions by considering possibilities that have never been tried or tested before. Imagination is also the source of inspiration for societal and cultural shifts. Movements that challenge the status quo often stem not from established knowledge, but from a collective reimagining of how things could or should be. Abolitionism, civil rights, gender equality, these transformative movements were driven by individuals who dared to envision a world beyond the one dictated by the knowledge and norms of their times. Such shifts require the ability to look past present realities and imagine more just equitable futures. However, imagination's ability to surpass knowledge does not imply that one is inherently superior to the other. Rather, they complement and enhance each other in powerful ways. Knowledge provides the groundwork upon which imagination builds. It anchors creativity to reality, offering the tools and understanding necessary to turn ideas into action. Conversely, imagination injects vitality into knowledge, ensuring it does not stagnate but continues to grow, evolve, and inspire. In essence, knowledge tells us what is, while imagination ponders what might be. It dares to dream beyond the limits of certainty, pointing the way to uncharted opportunities and untapped potential. By paving the way for new ideas, imagination ensures that humanity does not merely rest upon its existing knowledge but constantly expands its horizons, always reaching for the extraordinary. Imagination plays a profound role in personal growth, serving as the lens through which individuals can envision their potential and chart paths toward achieving their aspirations. It is the faculty that allows us to project ourselves beyond the confines of our current circumstances, crafting mental images of a more capable, successful, or fulfilled version of ourselves. Particularly in moments of uncertainty, when the way forward seems obscured or fraught with difficulty, imagination acts as a guiding light, illuminating possibilities that are not yet tangible and inspiring action toward personal transformation. At the heart of personal growth is the concept of self-image, the way we perceive ourselves and our potential. Imagination enables us to break free from the constraints of how we currently define ourselves. It allows us to visualize a life that aligns with our values, ambitions, and dreams, even if that life feels far removed from our present situation. This ability to imagine an elevated version of ourselves is not a mere exercise in wishful thinking. It is the foundation upon which motivation and perseverance are built. The clearer and more vivid this envisioned future becomes, the more compelling it is as a source of inspiration. Imagination also plays a critical role in overcoming limitations and obstacles. When faced with challenges, individuals often feel trapped by their circumstances or overwhelmed by their fears and doubts. Imagination provides an escape route, not by denying reality but by reconfiguring it. By imagining solutions or alternative pathways, people are able to see possibilities where none seem to exist. For example, a person struggling with career stagnation might use their imagination to explore potential shifts in direction, picturing themselves thriving in a different role, acquiring new skills, or building a business. This act of envisioning creates a mental blueprint for change, transforming abstract possibilities into actionable goals. Moreover, imagination fosters resilience in moments of uncertainty. Life's unpredictable nature often places individuals in situations where they lack clear answers or predefined solutions. In these moments, imagination becomes a survival tool, enabling people to mentally rehearse scenarios, anticipate challenges, and develop strategies to adapt. For instance, someone navigating a difficult relationship or personal crisis might use imagination to explore different approaches to communication, boundaries, or healing. This mental experimentation not only helps reduce anxiety but also builds confidence by allowing individuals to test solutions before implementing them in real life. Aspirations, too, are deeply connected to imagination. Setting meaningful goals requires more than rational analysis. It demands the ability to picture a reality that does not yet exist. A student pursuing higher education, an entrepreneur building a startup, or an artist striving for recognition all rely on their imagination to articulate their visions of success. These visions become the driving force behind their actions, propelling them forward even when immediate rewards are absent. Imagination bridges the gap between the present and the future, sustaining hope and determination over the long term. Crucially, imagination also fuels creativity and innovation, which are essential components of personal growth. To grow as individuals, we must often think creatively about how to overcome constraints, explore new opportunities, and express ourselves authentically. For instance, someone looking to improve their health might imagine not just the physical benefits of fitness, but also the emotional rewards of energy, confidence, and vitality. This imaginative engagement can transform the pursuit of health from a daunting obligation into an exciting journey of self-discovery. Even small, daily acts of imagination contribute to personal growth. When we picture ourselves excelling in a job interview, acing an exam, or repairing a strained relationship, we are engaging in mental preparation that increases our chances of success. Psychologists have long recognized the power of visualization. Mentally practicing desired outcomes has been shown to enhance performance, reduce stress, and boost confidence. This principle applies across all areas of life, from professional achievements to emotional well-being. Imagination, therefore, is not a passive or abstract concept. It is an active force that shapes how we interpret and engage with the world. It allows us to find meaning in setbacks, see opportunity in adversity, and maintain a sense of agency even in uncertain times. By tapping into our imagination, we gain the ability to reimagine ourselves, our capabilities, and our futures, turning moments of uncertainty into stepping stones toward personal evolution. This capacity to envision and create something greater within ourselves is one of the most powerful tools we have for growth. Imagination is an indispensable tool in problem solving and resilience, equipping individuals to navigate challenges with foresight and creativity. It enables us to anticipate obstacles before they arise and to devise innovative solutions that are not immediately apparent. In a world of constant unpredictability, imagination serves as both a mental rehearsal and a buffer, preparing us to face adversity while cultivating the adaptability necessary for thriving amidst change. At its core, problem solving is an imaginative exercise. A problem often signifies a gap between the current state and a desired outcome. To bridge that gap, one must envision possibilities that do not yet exist, solutions that have not yet been tested, or paths that have not yet been taken. Imagination provides the mental space to explore these hypothetical scenarios. It allows individuals to mentally simulate what-if situations, creating and discarding potential solutions until the most viable one emerges. This process is not merely about drawing upon existing knowledge, but about creatively reconfiguring elements of reality to solve new or complex problems. Consider the problem-solving strategies used in everyday life. When we misplace our keys, for instance, we often retrace our steps in our minds, picturing where we were and what we were doing. This act of mental reconstruction is an imaginative process, relying on our ability to visualize the past and experiment with different possibilities in our heads. On a larger scale, professionals in fields as diverse as engineering, medicine, and business rely on imagination to develop solutions to unprecedented challenges, whether it's designing safer infrastructure, creating treatments for diseases, or pivoting a business model in response to market shifts. Imagination enables them to explore ideas and predict outcomes that extend beyond the limits of current knowledge. In the face of complex, high-stakes challenges, imagination becomes even more vital. It allows us to anticipate potential obstacles before they materialize, preparing strategies in advance. For example, when scientists work to combat global health crises, they must not only address the immediate problem, but also anticipate future scenarios, including new virus mutations, resource shortages, or public resistance to policies. This kind of proactive problem-solving requires immense imaginative foresight. By envisioning various potential outcomes, individuals and teams can prepare responses that mitigate risks and maximize opportunities. Imagination also enhances resilience by fostering a mindset of possibility rather than defeat. When confronted with setbacks, many people feel immobilized by the seeming impossibility of the situation. Imagination counters this paralysis by helping individuals see beyond their immediate predicament. It allows us to mentally explore alternatives, identify untapped resources, and reframe challenges as opportunities for growth. For example, someone who loses their job may initially feel overwhelmed by uncertainty. Through imagination, however, they might begin to explore new career paths, envision the benefits of acquiring additional skills, and imagine themselves excelling in a different field. This shift in perspective can transform despair into determination. Additionally, imagination helps us develop resilience by preparing us for adversity before it occurs. Athletes, for instance, often engage in mental visualization, picturing themselves overcoming obstacles in competition, such as navigating a tricky course or recovering from an error. This mental rehearsal strengthens their confidence and equips them to perform under pressure. Similarly, in daily life, individuals who imagine how they might handle difficult conversations, confront personal challenges, or navigate unforeseen crises are better prepared to respond effectively when those situations arise. This proactive use of imagination serves as a mental toolkit, offering strategies and emotional stability in moments of stress. Moreover, imagination supports resilience by fostering flexibility and adaptability. Life's challenges are often fluid and multifaceted, requiring responses that can evolve with changing circumstances. Imagination allows us to pivot and revise our approach when initial solutions prove ineffective. It fosters an openness to experimentation and a willingness to embrace new perspectives. A business leader facing declining revenue, for example, might imagine different ways to restructure their operations, diversify their offerings, or target new markets. Each imagined possibility adds to their arsenal of potential responses, increasing their chances of successfully navigating the crisis. Ultimately, the interplay between imagination, problem-solving, and resilience underscores a profound truth. Challenges are not just obstacles but opportunities to innovate and grow. Imagination equips us to face uncertainty with a sense of agency and creativity, transforming what might initially seem insurmountable into an invitation for ingenuity. By anticipating challenges and envisioning solutions before they become reality, individuals are not only better prepared to overcome difficulties but also empowered to create a more dynamic and meaningful relationship with the world around them. Imagination lies at the heart of creativity and legacy, serving as the birthplace of art, science, and cultural advancement. It is the invisible thread that connects humanity's past, present, and future, enabling individuals and societies to envision ideas and creations that transcend their own time. Through imagination, people have not only shaped the contours of their immediate reality but also left enduring legacies that inspire and guide future generations. Creativity is fundamentally an imaginative act. Whether it manifests in a painting, a piece of music, a scientific theory, or an architectural marvel, creativity begins with the ability to see what does not yet exist. Artists, for instance, often take inspiration from the world around them but use imagination to transform it. A painter might envision how colors and forms can express emotions, while a writer crafts narratives that delve into the complexities of the human experience. This act of creation is not limited to personal expression. It shapes culture, reflecting and challenging societal norms, values, and aspirations. Science and technology, too, are deeply rooted in imagination. Every scientific breakthrough begins with a question or a vision that pushes beyond the known. The concept of gravity, the discovery of penicillin, the theory of relativity, these monumental achievements were not merely the result of meticulous observation, but also of the ability to imagine realities beyond the observable. A scientist must imagine possibilities before testing them, a process that transforms curiosity into knowledge and theory into practice. Similarly, technological innovations from the printing press to the internet arise from imaginative leaps that envision tools and systems capable of revolutionizing human life. The interplay between imagination and creativity extends into cultural advancement. Societies evolve not only through the accumulation of knowledge but also through the stories, ideas, and symbols that define their identities. Imaginative works of art, literature, and philosophy often serve as mirrors of the times in which they were created, offering insights into human struggles and triumphs. These creations, however, also act as bridges to the future, preserving the spirit of innovation and encouraging succeeding generations to build upon them. The works of Shakespeare, the philosophies of Confucius, and the paintings of Van Gogh, for example, continue to resonate because they speak to universal aspects of the human condition, providing a legacy that transcends the circumstances of their creation. In addition to inspiring individuals, imagination drives collective progress by fostering the shared visions necessary for societal transformation. Movements that reshape the world often begin with an act of imagination, the ability to see a future radically different from the present. Abolitionists envisioned a world free of slavery, suffragists imagined women's voices in democracy, and civil rights leaders dreamed of equality and justice. These visions, though initially intangible, galvanized action, uniting people around common goals and laying the groundwork for lasting change. The legacy of these movements extends far beyond their immediate achievements, serving as a testament to the power of collective imagination. Imagination also plays a pivotal role in creating the infrastructure of human life, shaping the very environments in which people live, work, and dream. Architects design buildings that not only serve practical purposes but also inspire awe and wonder. Urban planners imagine cities that reflect both functionality and beauty. These acts of creativity leave behind physical legacies that endure for centuries, influencing how future generations perceive and interact with the world around them. The enduring impact of imagination is perhaps most evident in its capacity to spark a sense of possibility. Imaginative creations challenge the status quo, invite new ways of thinking, and broaden the horizons of what individuals and societies believe to be achievable. This is why imagination is so deeply tied to legacy. It ensures that human progress is not merely linear but expansive, constantly reaching for new frontiers. The imaginative efforts of the past fuel the aspirations of the present, creating a cycle of inspiration that propels humanity forward. Even on an individual level, imagination and creativity leave legacies. A parent's stories, a teacher's lessons, an inventor's patent, or a poet's verses all are acts of creation that resonate beyond their origin, shaping the lives of others in ways that may be immediate or subtle, but are always meaningful. These contributions, large or small, weave into the larger tapestry of human advancement, ensuring that the spirit of creativity endures. Ultimately, imagination is the force that bridges the intangible realm of ideas with the tangible world of action and consequence. It births creativity and fuels the enduring legacies that define humanity's progress. Whether expressed in art, science, social movements, or the quiet acts of everyday life, imagination ensures that we are not merely products of our time, but architects of a future that reflects our highest aspirations. It reminds us that the best of what we leave behind is not bound by the limits of our knowledge, but is shaped by the boundlessness of our imagination. Imagination is not merely a faculty we possess, it is a skill, a muscle that must be nurtured and exercised if it is to reach its full potential. Far too often, imagination is dismissed as frivolous, a whimsical indulgence unrelated to the pressing demands of reality. But this is a profound misunderstanding of its value. Imagination is the wellspring of creativity, innovation, and vision, essential not only for personal growth but also for the collective advancement of humanity. To neglect it is to risk stagnation. To cultivate it is to unlock boundless potential. Each of us has the power to shape our lives and our world through imagination, but this requires deliberate effort. It begins with granting ourselves permission to dream. In a culture so often focused on productivity and measurable outcomes, the act of imagining can feel unproductive, even wasteful. Yet it is precisely in those moments of idle daydreaming or creative exploration that some of the most profound ideas take root. Allowing space for imagination, whether through writing, drawing, problem-solving, or simply reflecting on possibilities, is a vital first step toward reclaiming its transformative power. Exercising imagination also means embracing curiosity. The desire to learn, to ask questions, and to explore new perspectives expands the mental landscape in which imagination thrives. When we expose ourselves to unfamiliar ideas, cultures, and experiences, we provide our minds with the raw materials for imaginative thought. Reading broadly, engaging in deep conversations, or even wandering through nature with an open mind can ignite the creative spark that leads to fresh insights and new possibilities. Imagination also requires courage, the courage to envision a life beyond the familiar, to dream bigger than the constraints of our current reality, and to share those visions with others. Fear of failure or ridicule often stifles imaginative thinking, pushing people towards safer, more predictable choices. Yet every breakthrough, whether personal or collective, demands stepping into the unknown. It is an act of bravery to say, what if things could be different, and to pursue that possibility despite the uncertainties. Cultivating imagination is not only a personal endeavor, but also a collective responsibility. Communities, institutions, and societies thrive when they foster environments that value creative thought and vision. Leaders in every field, education, business, art, and science, have a unique opportunity to encourage imaginative thinking by challenging outdated norms, celebrating innovation, and supporting experimentation. A society that rewards imagination is a society that invests in its future, equipping individuals to confront complex challenges with ingenuity and adaptability. On a more practical level, nurturing imagination often means making intentional choices in how we engage with the world. Technology, while offering extraordinary tools for creativity, can also be a distraction that limits reflective thinking. By carving out time for activities that stimulate imagination, reading fiction, solving puzzles, engaging in the arts, or even taking moments of quiet introspection, we create opportunities for our minds to roam freely, unbound by routine and rigidity. For those seeking personal fulfillment, imagination offers a path not only to success but to meaning. Envisioning one's goals, values, and aspirations makes the abstract tangible, providing a clear sense of purpose. But imagination also invites us to look beyond ourselves, asking how our lives can contribute to something greater. It challenges us to imagine the legacy we wish to leave behind, whether it is through creative achievements, relationships, or acts of service. This outward focus transforms imagination into a powerful force for connection and collaboration. Collectively, imagination becomes a call to action for shaping the world as it could be. At a time when global challenges, climate change, inequality, technological disruption demand bold thinking, it is imagination that offers the hope and creativity necessary for meaningful solutions. Each person has a role to play, whether it is rethinking old systems, building new frameworks, or simply supporting and encouraging the imaginative work of others. By embracing our shared capacity to envision and innovate, we contribute to a future that is not only functional but inspiring. Imagination is a birthright, a tool of extraordinary potential available to every individual. Its cultivation transforms lives, sparking joy, curiosity, and ambition. Its application reshapes societies, unlocking solutions and driving progress. To nurture it is to claim a more expansive, purposeful existence. To share it is to contribute to the collective legacy of humanity. The call is clear: to dream boldly, to imagine deeply, and to act with intention, for it is through imagination that we fulfill both ourselves and the world around us. Imagination, in its highest and most noble form, is not a luxury, it is a moral obligation. It compels us to reach beyond what we are and strive toward what we could be. It challenges us to bring order to chaos, to envision beauty where there is none, and to construct meaning in a world often characterized by uncertainty and despair. This is not an easy task. It demands effort, sacrifice, and courage. But the alternative is far worse: to live small, to think narrowly, and to be confined by the boundaries of what is, rather than inspired by the possibilities of what could be. To embrace imagination is to embrace the potential for transformation both within ourselves and in the world around us. It is to accept that our ability to envision a better future is not just a gift, but a responsibility. And the moment we recognize this, we ignite the very force that has driven human progress since the beginning of time. So let us imagine boldly and create courageously. Let us rise to the challenge of building lives and legacies worthy of the extraordinary gift of imagination. Because to imagine is not merely to dream, it is to dream with intent, with purpose, and with the unshakable belief that, by the grace of our vision, the world can become a better, more beautiful place. Let us act in service of that vision, and let us do so now, while we still have the power to shape the future with the work of our hearts, our hands, and our minds.